Howdy, tabletop RPG fans. Thank you for supporting this channel. I'm Wrangleme, Grand Poobah of Game Design, and this Reviews Day topic is about the Microlite20 RPG. So, back in the days of Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition and 3.5, there was this thing called the Open Gaming License and the D20 System Reference Document. And a guy, Robin Stacy, whose internet handle is Grey Wolf, he took that SRD document and he crunched everything down to the minimum bare stuff, and in 2006 created the Microlite20 game. It was later purchased by Randall Stuckey, who worked on several of the old school editions, 74, 78, 81, and he's more recently finished the Microlite 2020 version that's based loosely on the 5th edition rules. There are a lot of RPGs that are based on the Microlite core set of rules because they were just an open gaming license for the system reference document. You could create a setting and incorporate a few special rules associated with your particular setting, and then attach the Microlite rules to it, and in no time flat have a brand new RPG. It was something that I did to make the Dragoons 20 game back in 2010. I'm not sure what inspired Grey Wolf to use pocket mods, but it was an innovation that certainly caught my eye and a lot of other people, is that you could, in a single sheet of paper, and there's a lot of one-page RPGs out there, but in this case, it's a single sheet of paper that's formatted in a very special way that once you fold it once the short length of the paper and 4 times the long length of the paper, and then cut a line down the middle and fold it into a shape, that makes an 8-page document. And some people use them as organizers to keep track of their to-do lists. Other people are publishing comics. And in this case, Grey Wolf was publishing RPGs with this format, where you could easily print a PDF, fold and cut the paper appropriately, and when you were done, you had a small document that incorporated all the rules for your game. So the Microlite20 collection was a set of these pocket mods, and each one had a specific purpose. So you would have a number of 8-page booklets that incorporated all of the rules. And so the core was your first one. Then there was a game master's guide, a monster list, both divine and arcane spell lists. Later came expert rules that added some new classes and things like that, along with some martial arts stuff that added more classes, and then a modern setting. And those were the core ones that Grey Wolf worked on. But you would have a set of these that you could put literally in your pocket, and so take some dice and you could go play a role-playing game. So Microlite is composed of very simple rules based again on the original Dungeons & Dragons 3.0 and 3.5 SRD. And if you look, it has 3 stats: strength, dexterity, and mind. And you could be one of 4 races: humans, elves, dwarves, and halflings. You could be any of these classes: fighters, rogues, magi, or clerics. You might have skills associated with physical, subterfuge, knowledge, and communication. and making a skill rank would be the level that you are in that particular skill. And then your skill roll would be a d20 plus your skill rank plus whatever stat bonus is most appropriate. So let's say that you were trying to intimidate somebody and you were a big, strong guy. So that's a communication skill, but you're going to add your strength bonus to it. And so it was the combination of your stat and your skill that was the most intriguing part of the combination mechanics, so to speak, of how Microlite worked, and it was certainly the appeal that I had about the system itself. Interestingly enough, there was no systems for memorizing spells. Spells cost hit points in order to do, and so this is very much like Dinky Dungeon and Twerps and things like that, where if you used a spell, you would actually have to sacrifice some of your hit points in order to do that. And so there's a spell level to hit point cost table there. There's a description of combat. There's other hazards, level advancement, and the last section is the Microlite20 character sheet. Here's a close-up of the character sheet. Again, you'll see the space for name, your class and level, your stats, the strength, dexterity, and mind, and your skills, the physical, the subterfuge, the knowledge, and the communications, and your hit points and your AC and your equipment, spells, and notes. And again, the stats plus your skills work in combinations to create interesting ways to interpret how the rules all work together. As much as I liked the core rules for Microlite20, when I did Dragoons 20, I decided that why call it the mind stat? I'm going to change that back to int. So I had strength, dexterity, int, and I also added back charisma, because I felt like charisma is still a very valuable stat to have, and it made for interesting combinations when you combine with other skills. I had the regular physical, subterfuge, knowledge, and communication skills, but I added to it a tactics skill for battle. So whether you're defending or attacking, you would use your tactical skill. If you were trying to deduce what the opponent was going to do, you might use your int plus your tactical. If you were shooting a bow and arrow, you'd use your dex and your tactics. It was a very interesting way of adding what effectively was the D&D combat that I enjoyed. But now it used that tactical skill. I also added survival because I felt like there were a number of cases where you wanted to be able to have players be able to make a saving roll that was more than just the standard saving rolls of physical and a strength check or something like that. And so I also wanted to be able to hunt for food, forage, track people, find water, any of the perception and detection skills. And lastly, I added recovery because I decided that having hit points be consumed as part of the spell casting seemed a little onerous, and I instead put in an energy or power stat that then was added to the hit points category. So now you had hit points and you had this power, and when you wanted to recover hit points, I tend to run very arcadey style tabletop games because I'm a video game designer as well. And so you would roll recover plus your strength to get back your hit points, and you'd roll recover plus your int to get back your spell points or whatever powers you needed to power up stuff. Microlite is pretty sparse when it comes to feats. There's hardly any games in the Microlite variations that have feats. But I actually enjoyed the power systems that were part of Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition. And so for many things, I just incorporated those feats and powers back together, and that was what made up the systems for spells, special abilities, cleaving, and rage, and all these other things that a player might want to do, were simply powers in Dragoons 20. This episode is brought to you by Kaboomkin, the smaller, faster, funnier RPG of cartoon, fairy tale, post-apocalypse mayhem. It's time to blow stuff up. Get it now at www.kaboomkin.com. Thank you all for watching this episode. Hit like, subscribe, or ring the bell, or Booger will get you. If you want to see more videos like this, go to hopspush.com and buy an RPG or t-shirt. Do good, annoy evil, and bye-bye.